Welcome to the Pixel Pro training series. Today we will be covering the basic configuration of a Pixel Pro series camera. Having just unboxed your first Pixel Pro camera, I'm sure you will want to start using it. The first thing will be to configure the Pixel Pro so that it can be seen over a network. There are two different ways to physically connect to the Pixel Pro camera. One is to connect a PC or laptop directly to the Pixel Pro camera by way of a crossover cable and provide power to the camera by way of an AC or DC power supply. The second way is to connect a PC or laptop to a PoE switch by way of a Cat5 cable and then connect the Pixel Pro camera to the same PoE switch. Once the PC and the Pixel Pro camera are connected physically, they need to be programmed for communications to happen between them. That means setting the IP and subnet address for both the PC and the camera. From the Windows desktop, click on the Start logo and go to the Control Panel. Once in the Control Panel, click on the Network and Internet option. Next, click on the Network and Sharing Center option. Next, click on the Change Adapter Settings option found toward the top left section of the display. There should be an icon labeled Local Area Connection, and this represents the PC's onboard LAN. Now, a few things to note. If this is a laptop, there may well be a second icon labeled Wireless Network Connection. If so, disable the wireless of the laptop before proceeding. If the PC in question is a server, there may well be more than one local area connection, in which case it is recommended that only the camera required LAN should currently be used. Unplug any other Cat5 cables from the back of the server for now. Continuing with the setting of the PC's IP and subnet addressing. With the mouse, right-click on the icon of the local area connection and select Properties from the drop-down menu. In the Properties dialog box, locate and click on Internet Protocol version 4 TCP/IPv4. Now click on the Properties button. Now click on the Use the following IP address option. In this case, we're going to use an IP address of 192.168.0.10 and a subnet mask of 255.255.255.0. Since we're only doing a PC to Pixel Pro setup, no other network information is currently required. Note, in some cases, like that of a server installation, an IT person may have already designated what network information to use. In that case, enter any and all the network information provided by the IT person. After the network information has been entered, click on OK, and then close out all the open windows. Now, let's configure the Pixel Pro camera with its network information. Depending on where it is located, find and double-click on the Pixel Pro Discovery tool to launch the application. Once the Discovery tool is launched, click on the Search button and the Pixel Pro camera should be found and listed at the top. Some quick troubleshooting tips in case the camera is not found. First, check and confirm the camera is getting power. This can be confirmed by way of a solid green LED on the camera. If the camera is confirmed as getting power, then the next thing to check is any running firewall program on the PC. Be sure to turn off any and all running firewalls on the PC in question. Third, check Cat5 cable for any damage. If a switch or hub is used, check for a possible bad port by moving the camera and or PC over to another port. Okay, so the Pixel Pro is listed, but its IP range does not match that of the PC. What needs to be done to fix this? Click on the Pixel Pro entry in order to highlight it. Notice that the Pixel Pro's network information is now listed in the bottom left of the Discovery tool. Note the network type listed, and if needed, change it to static. Now, change the IP and subnet address listed for the camera to the required IP range. In this case, we're going to use an IP of 192.168.0.201 and a subnet mask of 255.255.255.0. Once the IP and subnet are entered, click on Apply and a confirmation box should appear. Click on OK for the confirmation box and the Discovery tool will inform you of whether the selected IP can be used. If there is no issue with the chosen IP, click on OK and the Pixel Pro's listing should reflect the new network information. Now that the network settings of the PC and the camera are finished, we can go ahead and access the Pixel Pro's web interface, where we can proceed to configure the camera's settings. From the Discovery Tool window, you use the mouse and double-click on the IP address of the Pixel Pro camera. In a moment, Internet Explorer should appear with a login screen. If Internet Explorer does not open, but some other browser like Firefox, Safari, or Chrome does, simply copy the address and paste it into Internet Explorer. To log into the Pixel Pro cameras, you use the ID of admin, all capital, and the password of 1234, and then click on OK. If this is the first time accessing the web interface of a Pixel Pro camera, the browser will need to install a DirectX component. This component allows the video from the camera to display within the browser. Internet Explorer will pop up a requester for permission to install the DirectX component. Click on the Install option to allow Internet Explorer to install the required component. An install confirmation box will appear requiring that install be clicked on before installation can continue. The Pixel Pro web interface should now be seen with its Live tab and Setup tab. Click on the Setup tab to access the configuration options of the Pixel Pro camera. The first thing that needs to be done is the installation mode needs to be changed from on to off. Confirm that the analog video format is NTSC and click on Save. Note the Please Wait process is running. After a moment, a dialog stating Complete will appear. Click on OK. Now, on the left-hand side, click on the title Video and the video codec page will appear. The codec page is where the video stream parameters, such as resolution and frames per second, are configured. For the Pixel Pro, the codec of the first stream, H.264, cannot be changed, and the second stream, for now, does not matter. Depending on the model of the Pixel Pro camera, the resolution can be set as low as 320 by 240 or as high as 1920 by 1080. The FPS, or frames per second, can be set as low as 2.5 FPS to as high as 30 FPS, though in this case I'm going to select 15 frames per second. Next is the GOP size option, but how does the GOP setting affect the video stream? To put it short and sweet, the lower the GOP number, the more iframes per second are generated and the higher the compression required will be. This means that video will start to look pixelated and blocky as the compression ratio gets higher. As a rule of thumb, it is recommended to leave the GOP at 30 as it is a good compromise for compression versus image quality. For the bitrate control, there are two options, CBR, or constant bitrate, and VBR, or variable bitrate. Constant bitrate maintains the set bitrate regardless of the bitrate required for the current video. Constant bitrate is best when the video contains a similar motion level across its entire duration. Variable bitrate can adjust the data rate down and to the upper limit that has been set based on the video data requirement. VBR is best in dynamic environments where the motion levels can vary widely. In this case, I have fairly steady moderate motion, so I am going to select the constant bitrate option. On next selection is the average bitrate, and this is one that can impact both the quality of the video as well as the network bandwidth. Based on the recording resolution, the complexity of the video, a high bitrate will give a sharp, clear image, but too low a bitrate can give a pixelated image. The following bitrates are recommended based on the resolution. For VGA, or 640 by 480, 800 kilobytes per second to 1 megabit per second is typical. For 720p, or 1280 by 720, 3 megabits per second to 4 megabits per second is typical, and for 1080p, or 1920 by 1080, 6 megabits to 8 megabits is typical. Since the selected resolution is 1080p, or 1920 by 1080, and I expect the level of motion to be high, I'm going to select 8 megabits per second as the preferred bitrate. All the other available settings on this section are fine at their defaults, so click on Save, wait till the process is complete, and then click on OK. Now, let's go to the video camera option and make any needed adjustments. If, like me, you see black where video should be, don't fret, it just means we have to make a setting change. Go to the Viewer Setup option in the Live section and go to Live View Protocol Settings. Chances are the settings is RTP Unicast UDP, and that is the cause of the black video. Select and change the Live View Protocol to RTP over RTSP TCP. Select Save, wait for the process to complete, and then click on OK. Now, return to the Video Camera option, and we should see an actual video instead of black. Since this is likely a new install, the camera is likely to be out of focus like mine is here. If you have the box-style Pixel Pro camera, you will need to manually adjust the lens, but if you have the dome style, there is an easier way. In the bottom left is a link labeled Lens Adjustment. Click on Lens Adjustment, and the Lens Adjustment panel will appear. In this panel can be adjusted the zoom, focus, and iris of the camera. The camera options can be adjusted manually, or you can click on the One Push Focus and allow the camera to adjust itself. Once the lens adjustment has been completed, any changes that need to be made to the exposure control, white balance control, and or the image property control can be made. When all the adjustments are done, click on Save, and once the process is complete, click on OK. One last thing to set on the camera, and then you're ready to start using it, and that is motion detection. Go to Event and then to Motion. Once in motion, there are two primary functions. One is the area, and the other is the sensitivity. To start, select Area 1. Depending on the complexity of the scene being recorded by the camera, you can use Area 1 through Area 4 to create some complex masking for motion detection. For this video though, we're going to keep it simple, and for Area 1, set the sensitivity as needed. In this case, I'm going to select 10 and then click on Select All. Click on Save, wait for the process to complete, and then click on OK. You'll notice that as soon as motion is detected by the camera, the whole scene is covered by a red grid indicating that motion was detected. That said, the camera is now programmed and ready to be used. Click on the X in the top right of the browser window to exit. So that wraps up this Pixel Pro basic configuration video. Feel free to explore the many options of the Pixel Pro camera and keep an eye open for the next video.